somebody to help me move them. So I would like to get rid of a few of them.
Okay. All right. Send me a note, will you, with some of the ones that you have?
Yeah. Mhm.
I would be interested in a few of those.
Okay. Okay.
Alrighty, y'all. It is 3:01, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome. Thank y'all for joining us, and we have some new faces today, and I'm quite excited to have everybody on the call. So, an overview for today, we have two organizational overviews from partners that are serving and working in the East Charlotte space, Families Forward Charlotte and MeckEd. Have a few updates to give about the Eastland redevelopment. As there's actually a concurrent meeting right now that is impacting the timeline.
Oh,
I have a few summer events that I would like to share. And Mandalay, I'm actually glad you were on the call because I'm gonna ask you to give a little bit of a overview of our July 20th event, and then we will have an open forum. So I am gonna go ahead and kick it over to Hannah. Hannah, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Hannah. I'm the Volunteer and Partnerships Coordinator at Families Forward Charlotte. I believe our Executive Director was supposed to be here today, but she's out of town, so I'm excited to do it for you. And so just as a general overview of Families Forward Charlotte, our program center is located off of Executive Center Drive, so we're in a suite over there. And we were founded in 2017 in a response to the Chetty study that came out. And so what we do is we partner with families who are experiencing poverty. And every family who is in our program is paired with a volunteer in the community who has been trained as an economic mobility mentor. And we do the training, and they work with the family to kind of future plan, dream a little bit, and set some goals around economic stability and think about the action steps that might be needing to take place to reach those goals. So our program is 2 years. Many
wow.
families will graduate our program at the end of 2 years. And in addition to the mentorship, we provide workshop opportunities for families. So we take a look at what families are kind of setting goals around. And based on those topics, we find workshop presenters who are able to kind of maybe fill in some gaps or provide extra information around some of those things that our families are working towards. We offer workshops 4 times a month. At those workshops, we provide child watch, transportation, and a meal. So everyone is fed. All of the kids are supervised. They're also fed, taken care of. They do games. We partner with the Junior League. They do like a reading buddy program, homework helpers with the kids while the adults are having some child free time and engaging with the presenter. So the workshops are really awesome. We also provide essential support for families. We do that in the form of essentials baskets. Those go out 3 times a year. They're full of toiletries, cleaning supplies, basically anything that you can think of as you're getting ready for work in the morning or, taking care of your home. Those are the things that we provide our families. We also have a closet on site where in between receiving those baskets, families are able to kind of go in and grab what they need if they need extra laundry detergent or hand soap, things like that. Um, Lastly, we do provide some financial assistance to families. So we try to eliminate as many like crisis situations as possible. As families are working towards their goals, obviously there might be some bumps in the road. And we don't want, any of those when life is lifing, we don't want that to derail families completely from all the work that they've been doing towards reaching those goals. So our goal is to be able to provide some of that assistance and pay, the Duke bill directly to Duke, so that that doesn't have to become something that snowballs and gets bigger over time.
Wow.
Um, so with that being said, we're always looking for people who are interested in the mentor role. Our families are referred to us from various CMS Title I schools. And then also we have some community partners who are also referral partners, like Charlotte Family Housing, for example. Once families complete the program over there, if they still need some support in setting goals around economic stability, they're able to refer families into our program. So we can only partner with as many families as we have liaisons. So that's always one of our biggest needs. We take family liaisons on in the spring and the fall. We do 2 cohorts a year. And there is a training component as well. So we try to answer all of your questions, make you feel
Wow.
super supported as well as you kind of embark on that experience with the family. And then I can also leave my contact information in the chat. So if anybody is interested in learning more or getting connected in any way, you can reach out to me.
Wow.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Question really quick about the time commitment. What would that look like for a family liaison?
So we do ask for a year-long commitment, but month to month, it's only about 4 to 6 hours. Family liaisons are required to meet with families 1 time in person a month, and that is set up on your schedule and the family partner's schedule. So it's very flexible in that way. And you can also kind of pick the place where you would meet up. So like a park, a library, places like that. And then that's really the biggest commitment is the 4 to 6 hours. Some months it might be a little less, some months it might be more depending on, what's going on with the family that month.
Okay. Do you know off the top of your head, like what are your focus zip codes where you serve the most clients?
Most of our families are referred to us. They live in the Crescent, if that's helpful.
Okay.
So we have a lot on the east side and the west side of Charlotte as well.
Cool. Well, does anybody have any questions for Hannah? I want to leave some time for discussion with her.
Diana did.
Yeah, I would just like to know, Hannah, this is Maureen. How do you, because so many of our Title I schools are very diverse, how do you work with mentors with our language diversities?
So if we have, do you mean mentors being bilingual or maybe families being bilingual?
Both, so that they can communicate and being mentors.
Yeah, so we don't typically pair anyone up who do not speak the same language on some level. I would say the majority of our families currently are English speaking. We're hoping to expand and be able to recruit more bilingual volunteers to be able to serve more Spanish speaking families. However, at this time, the majority of our families are English speaking because a lot of the volunteers are English speaking. We don't want to create any more challenge for anyone, as far as language goes. And then the nature of talking about maybe some of your financial situation or your home life and things like that with somebody, we want you to be able to authentically communicate with your liaison.
Thank you.
I think Deanna asked, Hannah, do you have a recruitment flyer?
Yes. So if you leave me your email in the chat, I was just going to respond to her, or email me directly, I can send you the flyer for recruitment.
I also had another question for you. In regards to recruitment, what I guess what pathways are you guys taking to recruit further?
So we attend meetings like this. We use a lot of our church partners to share information in their newsletters with their members of their church. We are in a lot of different community meetings with different people. We use Share Charlotte, we use Volunteer Match. I would say a lot of our liaisons especially have come from just searching for ways to get involved, and they've kind of stumbled upon Families Forward either through Google or Volunteer Match. So we've been pretty successful that way, I would say, as of right now.
Okay. I also wanted to see if once you send me the flyer, I can also try to connect you with a Hispanic Latino focused nonprofit organization called Enlace or Enlace. They focus heavily on just networking with different organizations. So maybe that could be a good resource to share your information with other Latino organizations, so that they can like send your flyer to their communities and their networks for people who are looking for like volunteer service and things like that.
Yeah, we're actually a member of Enlace, so I
Oh, nice. Okay,
can do
awesome.
that. Thank you we don't have any fully bilingual staff members currently. And so
Gotcha.
that's been kind of our hesitation. We don't want someone who only speaks Spanish or can, like express themselves fully only in Spanish to not be able to communicate with a staff member. So that's
Gotcha.
why we haven't fully advertised through Enlace, but we are members and we have met with a lot of different organizations serving the Hispanic community in Charlotte. So that is something that we're hoping to get staffing and expand that way over time. But currently right now, we just don't have that on staff.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll be happy to share your flyer with the network that I have for sure with our families and things like that who are bilingual. So I'll be happy to share that with them.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Hannah, this is Helen Hope Kimbrough. I have a question. Can you share like a success story of your program so that we may hear how impactful it's been with a student and a mentor?
Yeah, so the mentors are working directly with the adult in the family. And so for many families, everyone's kind of in a different position. Some of the families that are referred to our program might not have housing, while other families might be looking to further their education to be able to obtain a higher paying job or something like that. So I would say most recently, we've had a few families who have been able to move out of a hotel that we've been helping pay for so that they're able to have a stable roof over their head. And they finally gotten to a point where they've either budgeted and saved enough money or their affordable housing has kind of come through where they've been able to move into their own place. We partner with Furnish for Good. And so Furnish for Good has been an amazing partner to help ensure that families are able to have like a full set of furniture as they're moving into these homes. And so they're very excited. So I'd say the housing is a really big success story right now, just because we're all very familiar with the kind of difficulty in finding affordable housing. And then for a lot of families, they've been able to set goals for themselves to create a budget and stick to it. A lot of families are establishing a savings account and, being able to put money in that savings account thanks to working with their mentor to create that budget and stick to it. As part of our program, what we do when families set goals and then they reach those goals, we celebrate everything. You get a certificate every time you have completed a goal, and they also get to choose a gift card. So we try to make it as exciting as possible. We work with a lot of single mothers, and a lot of those women have been setting goals around self-care, which is really important as well, and something that I think easily gets put on the back burner. And so seeing a lot of, those families being able to say that I'm going to stick to this self-care plan and reach that goal as well, I think has helped instill a lot of confidence and kind of build back some of the motivation to keep going as well.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you.
Really great to learn about the organization, and hopefully we can plug this out and get some context. Is there a number of volunteers that y'all are anticipating, like within the next few months, that you're short on? Is there a target goal that you're trying to reach for new volunteers?
I would say our target goal is between 25 to 30, and we've just started pushing our recruiting efforts because we will have training in September. So we'll be kind of doing all of that through the fall. So I can send you maybe flyers and stuff if you want to send it out to
Please.
everyone.
Yeah, that would be great. After these meetings, I usually do a recap, and our distribution list is about 150. So we have significant faith in nonprofit partners that I know would love to share the info.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Really, thanks for having me.
And we are super lucky today to have another agency presenting that has been doing some phenomenal work for quite some time, and Charlotte East has traditionally had an excellent partner with MeckEd. So do I see Kelly? Yes, you are on the call. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kelly Cartwright. I am the CEO of MeckEd. I've been with MeckEd since August of last year. If you've been around, then you probably have heard of MeckEd because MeckEd has been around for a long time. MeckEd actually is it's four different organizations that collapsed into each other early 2000s. MeckEd used to be focused solely on public education advocacy, but as you know, advocacy has changed over the years. And so MeckEd had to evolve a little bit. We still do public education advocacy, but our main focus is on career readiness for high school students. We partner very closely with Charlotte Works, and we administer their in-school youth workforce development program. So I want to share a little bit with you about where MeckEd is today because we have definitely grown, and then talk about what that growth means and how you can possibly help us with that growth. So again, MeckEd is a career readiness organization. Right now, we are on site in 4 schools. So Harding and West Charlotte, and also Garinger and Chambers. I would love to find the funding to be in Rocky River, but that's in Kelly's list of dreams that's in my head. But I would love to serve Rocky River. For some of you may know, but I am East Charlotte is very close to my heart because I grew up in East Charlotte. And so I have a very close personal connection to what is now called Far East Charlotte. That's where my family and my church and, where I grew up in. And so Rocky River is definitely one of those schools we like to get into. But right now we serve 4: Harding, West Charlotte, Chambers, and Garinger. A part of what we do as a program, we provide, what's unique about MeckEd is we provide paid work experiences to the students that are participating in our programs. And so we've got 2 levels of programming. We've got a team of 6. We have 4 on-site staff members in the schools that serve each one of the schools. They provide intensive career services to students who have some kind of barrier to a successful career. So they may be in foster care, they may be pregnant or parenting, they may be have housing insecurity. They may be an English language learner. They may be there's a whole list of things that could pose as a barrier to them engaging in a successful career. Those are the students that we enjoy working with and we enjoy advocating for to help them have a career plan. Each of my team members has a caseload with those students of about 30 kids. On top of that, we provide some general career planning services for the entire school that we serve. So we're also doing college tours and job fairs and things like that, and bringing those to the school and to those students. So with those services, we partner with agencies like Communities in Schools to provide those services to all of the students in the schools that we serve. So 2 levels of services: intensive services for those students that may need some extra help, and then the services we provide to the whole school. But the whole focus is on career readiness. Last year we had a 100% graduation rate for our seniors. This year, I believe we have a 99% graduation rate for our seniors. And that's pretty much because that one student that didn't graduate because they said, I'd rather work than go to school because I see the value in working and getting a paycheck today as opposed to going to school. And so those are some of the issues that we try to work out with our students, trying to help them to have some vision for their life, trying to help them to develop a career plan. And we do that through these paid work experiences. So they are being paid through MeckEd in these 12-week work experiences. They can have several during the time that they are with MeckEd from 10th to the 12th grade. We also provide them with job shadow experiences. We also bring speakers in to work with them. We help our families navigate the college admissions experience because a lot of times these are first-generation college students that go to college. Last year, I believe about 90+% of our seniors went straight to college, a 2 or 4 year college. I believe this year that rate has dropped to 74%, which was kind of interesting for us, but we align with CMS's goals of enrollment, enlistment, or employment. And so that's the goal for all of our students when they graduate high school. We also provide students with soft skill development. We pay for them to go back and forth to work if it's a MeckEd work experience. So we'll pay for that transportation. If they need uniforms, we pay for that. We pay for certifications. So if a student says, hey, I want to be a dental assistant, we'll pay for that. We've got a student right now going through welding classes. We paid for that. HVAC classes, we paid for that. So our goal is that employment, enlistment, enrollment goal, and to remove any barriers to that student achieving that goal and helping them to see and provide the resources for them to get there. But MeckEd has grown a lot. We've only been doing career readiness since about 2012, because as I said before, prior to that, we were doing public education advocacy. If any of you know Jennifer Roberts, she's our board chair. So you know we have a very strong, she's a strong advocate for education. And so we still do advocacy, but the career readiness we've been doing since 2012. We have grown. Right now we are in Camp North End. We have 2 office spaces in Camp North End, and I think we grew out of it as soon as we got there. Even though we have a team of 6, we need meeting space. We need space for students to come in when they come in and do programming, storage space, all those things. And so one of the things that I'm asking for help from you all with is identifying space where we have enough space to really do programming the way we'd like to do it. We are looking for about 2,500 square feet. I've been kind of on the lookout for maybe churches that may have some extra space, or just any place that may have some extra space where we can have offices for our team of 6, in addition to storage space and meeting space where we can bring our young people to come in and do the programs that we do outside of school time. And so that's something that is on our list. So if you have any connections with a location that can provide that kind of space, again, the team has said, oh, we love the vibe at Camp North End. So yes, it's a wonderful vibe, but it's not enough space by any means. It's lots of fun, but definitely not enough space. And we want to be in a location where our families can get to us easily from wherever they are. So we are definitely on the lookout for space. So again, we serve West Charlotte and Harding and Garinger and Chambers. So if you know of any space, about 2,500 square feet ideally, where we could locate, please get with me and talk logistics, because that is what we need. So I'll stop. Oh, I also say this. Soon we will be hiring for a staff member at Garinger. So if you know somebody who is passionate about working with the young people that we work with, that opening will be posted very, very soon. So with that, I'll stop and ask if anybody has any questions.
I have a ton, Kelly, but I'm gonna follow up
Oh,
with
all
you
right.
one-on-one. We'll connect offline. So
Okay.
we've had a very traditionally strong relationship with MeckEd. I know Ross and MeckEd were one of the reasons that we were able to get 55 million for Garinger as part of the last bond cycle. So very supportive with that advocacy. So
Wonderful.
I'm assuming Mr. Shields is not, he's departing us.
He is still with us. He
Okay.
has received a promotion.
Awesome.
And so his position will be coming open at the end of June.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be hiring his position, and he will absolutely be engaged in that process.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Any questions or comments for Kelly? I guess actually one more is how many students did you serve this year at Garinger?
At Garinger, at Garinger on the intensive case management side, on that level of services, we max out at 30 because it's a lot. It's very intensive. But total for Garinger, oh my goodness, I think we served about 300 total students when you add in the college fairs and workshops and those things that were open to all students.
Sure. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Kelly, this is Helen Kimbrough. I have a question.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good, good. My question was, I know, Charlotte is always talking about upward mobility, and career
Mhm.
readiness is something that has been prioritized throughout the city. And so, just, you know, are most of your students being able to be housed? Or are they staying at home and then working? Or is it a combination of their supporting their current structure and families? Or are they really looking to do some of this out on their own and be more advanced in a different way?
We've got a mix of all of it. We have some students who work because they themselves want extra money. We have some students who work because they're parenting and they have to support their own children. We have some students who are primary breadwinners in their households. They may
Mhm.
be the only breadwinners in their household, or they may be helping to support their households. So we've got a little mix of all of those things. We do have, like I said earlier, some students where they see the value in working right now as opposed to going to school. And so we have to really balance that out and help them to see the big picture and see the impact of working long term. So the pay rate for us varies from 10 to 12. I believe we received some extra funding this year, and I think we may have paid some $13 an hour, and we attach that to goals. We try to set pay rates based on performance and try to make it like the real world so that they can be prepared to go into a real job and do some merit-based funding. But we pay 10 to $13 an hour for students. And for a lot of them, that's a lot more than they can make, at other jobs.
Yeah.
In addition to providing the other training that they get, soft skill, hard skills, those kind of things. So we've got a mix of students that kind of do it all.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that answered the question.
No, it did. It did.
Okay. What I've also noticed, we've incorporated mental wellness into our programming as well. We have some students who are dealing with housing insecurity, and I would say of those students, 85-90% of it is due to a mental health issue by their parents, an untreated, undiagnosed mental health issue from the parents, and it ends up impacting the whole entire family. And so those students do end up being the primary breadwinner in the household and managing a lot more than they should be managing as students. But housing insecurity is a huge issue. And so these jobs are their lifeline. And those seem to be the most motivated students because they know that if they complete the program successfully, it'll set them up for a career and not just kind of a job, which is what they've seen, just jobs. They don't want to continue to make $10, $11, $12 an hour. They want a real career with benefits because they actually can see the benefit of having a benefited career and making more money. So those are actually some of our most motivated students.
Anything else for Kelly? Kelly, do you
Well,
mind
thank
putting your contact in the chat, and I'll make sure with the follow-up email to this that I do as well. But thank you so much for
Will
joining
do.
us today. Alrighty, y'all. This is I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible. So I wanted to give an update on what is going on with Eastland. Many of you were involved in our advocacy that has been, it's really been 15 months since we kicked it into high gear last year. But to give y'all an overview, as there is construction going on at the site, this image is a little bit blurry, but it just shows the general landscape. So on the eastern portion of the site, what's being built and almost completed is senior housing. I believe there are 75 plus units that are going to be earmarked for seniors at an affordable rate. Some of the other construction that is happening right now are the apartments. There's going to be roughly 250 apartments with base level retail. Not a lot, but around 17,000 square feet. The bulk of that eastern side is going to be housing. There are going to be a number of single family homes as well. at the bottom of the map, let me see if I can't zoom in, but there is a 4.7 acre park, which I think most people are familiar with. I know we had 2 people on this call who were members of that steering committee, Maureen and Carolyn. So 2 months ago, I just found this out yesterday, in April, the property acquisition actually happened by the county, so they acquired officially the property from the city, which was just a formality, but the design is largely in place for that space, and it will be open and activated come early 2026 is still the timeline. But the western part of the site is, no, I'm sorry, I got my directions mixed up. Totally got my directions mixed up. The westward side is where all the apartments are going. On the eastern side, the eastern 30 odd acres is what our community really fought hard for last year, is figuring out how do we have a say in what goes there. This was the acreage that was left over after David Tepper left the site. This is where the Charlotte FC headquarters was going to go. So what we have right now is a combination between 2 parties who were competing last year. Charlotte Soccer Academy in partnership with Southern Entertainment, who are the individuals who just put on the Love and Life Music Festival a few weeks ago in Uptown. And then on the northern part of that eastern site is going to be 120,000 square feet amateur indoor sports complex. So this is the piece that, I and our Charlotte East team has been extremely involved with for the past year and a half. Where it stands right now is they cannot break ground, as they have been spending the past 3 months waiting to get put on the city's economic development agenda to approve the additional infrastructure asks that's going to be required to fix and build some retaining walls on the edges of the property. So we have been told twice now that we were going to be on the city's economic development agenda, that it was going to be heard in June. And talking with the head of the Economic Development Committee yesterday, Malcolm Graham, we are being tabled until late September, which delays the entire project by 3 months. The team cannot do anything. Everything is done, can't put out RFQs. So there will be some follow-ups that I send regarding this, like en masse, because the reason for the delay, ironically enough, is so the city is fast-tracking the stadium renovations for Bank of America. Right now, the Economic Development Committee is having a special meeting to get it approved through committee. They were told, I don't think they've publicly said this yet, they were told yesterday by Raleigh that they are actually going to be forced to have a public hearing about the taxpayer dollars being spent on the stadium. That meeting will be next Monday night, and the vote will be held whether or not the city spends this $650 million on the 24th. As of this morning, I think all of this around the stadium in terms of public engagement is largely a formality, as there are 6 firm votes that aren't going to change. But point being, our project is again being delayed for David Tepper's projects. So it's been a little bit of a frustrating week as we found out Sunday that we were going to get bumped again. We just didn't know until when. They were supposed to hold the votes concurrently on the 24th, but now that is not the case. So if you have any individual questions, follow-ups about that, I wanted to give kind of a high-level overview because it is increasingly frustrating, and it's the same treatment this property's received year after year. And the comment continues to be from council is that, well, the housing is going up, so there is action on that site, but it's not the economic driver that we need. So shovels were supposed to go on the ground on the eastern part of the site in September, and now if council is not going to be even reviewing that until September, we're looking at early 2025. So it's extremely frustrating. But I wanted to give like I said, a general overview, as this has been something a lot of you have been engaged with, and I hope will continue to be engaged with. And I just want to be as transparent as possible with everybody with what's going on, because we're not really getting this information from anywhere else. So this is what's happening. Any questions on this right now that I might be able to answer? Okay. Alrighty, two things. Mandalay, are you still on the call?
Hey, yeah, I am.
Hey, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Do you mind talking about the 20th?
Yes. So our bridge will be hosting a block party in partnership with Charlotte East and United Way. United Way will do the event as a Live United Day. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that before, but during that event, our goal is for the block party is to increase our community knowledge of the services available to them in the geography, the Albemarle / Central Corridor. And so during those time, we're gonna offer interactive activities, and a lot of them will be like I would say like some will be like resources and some will be like tabling. We do want to invite all of our quarterback agencies and partner agencies to come and join us for that day. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I think my email is in there as well, right, Greg?
I'll make sure that it gets sent out.
Yes.
But if you want to put it in the chat right now, that would be
Yes,
great.
I can definitely put it in the chat. But is this all the agencies that
No, this is
No.
a separate
Okay.
this is a separate group. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, a little misunderstanding. But yes, so this event is for families to know that this resources is available to them and that it's gonna be right in the neighborhood. This is our first time doing it, so we're hoping for like a fun turnout. Yeah.
And Mandalay has been doing a phenomenal job leading this and putting this event together. I'm extremely excited that we're holding it really off the Elmore Road communities, which we traditionally don't do. We focus a lot on our
Yeah.
Central Ave communities, and Mandalay was really super glad that you advocated to have it here. So if you all don't know where Four Seasons is, it's right there at Farm Pond Lane behind the McDonald's, that area.
Yeah.
But Mandalay, you've done an awesome job getting the vendors, getting people together. I think there's gonna be a bouncy house, dunk tank.
Yeah.
I know Kayla, you're on the call, but I think Amity Medical is gonna be doing screenings. We've got the Office of Violence Prevention coming out to do gun lock giveaways, and then just fun family events as well.
Yeah, there'll be multiple activities for the kids as well. We have like mini soccer scrimmages for the kids. You can bring your families, your friends, anyone. It doesn't have to just be the resident at Farm Pond. It can be anyone, even not in the Albemarle and Central Corridor. They can feel free to come. The more the merrier.
Awesome. Yeah, Deanna, reach out to Mandalay when she puts her email in the chat,
Yes,
because
I can definitely share my email. Yes.
I think we still have, there's still room. And I know, even though I've been corrected a million times, I'm still gonna to butcher the pronunciation of the name. But the Salome School is opening essentially their ribbon cutting this Saturday at the Charlotte Museum of History. This is a really big deal. This is one of the original Rosenwald schools from the 1920s that has been moved and restored to be really on the front of the History Museum's campus. This has been a long restoration project that the museum is really doing, and it's perfect timing that I know they wanted to center it around Juneteenth. So from 11 to 5 on Saturday, if you have the opportunity to do so, I think this is going to be a really powerful and excellent event just to stop in. Please do so. The Museum of History has been doing some really incredible work. Terry White, their executive director, has just really been a force in making this a community gathering space and having exhibitions that attract people in and that really are intentional about showing all aspects of Charlotte's history. So I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be an awesome display, and it's, like I said, the school itself is outside of the museum on the front, so you'll see it right when you pull in. But I think the ribbon cutting itself is at 11 a.m. Alrighty, we have
Excuse me. I Sudama here. I have a quick question, if you might be able to answer. I vaguely recall having seen an appeal from the History Museum who were trying to get funding from City Council, maybe. Did that happen? Is that still out there asking for people to speak up, or where is that? Does anyone know?
It did not. They were not able to secure their funding. This is it's unfortunate. I do believe, and if y'all who were hawking the budget might be able to add in, but I believe that they received an additional 100,000. But they were asking for 600, 600,000, and so the conversations that they're going to be really more intensive conversations. I'm meeting with Terry on Friday, actually to talk about strategizing for FY26, because really that's where we are at this point. I think it just falls into kind of a pattern of underinvestment in our community and our resources, and the Charlotte Museum of History is like one of our best assets and resources. So long story short, to answer your question, no, they did not receive the funding that they asked for.
Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
so much, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. Alrighty, so we have about 3 minutes or so. If anybody has any last minute comments or things that they want to share, events, dates, please do so. Or you can email me and I'll make sure that I get them out in the follow-up email, which I'll likely send on Friday. Alrighty. Well, thank you all very much for joining the call this afternoon. It was great meeting some of you, and talk soon. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.